Hey everybody, it's Julie and it is green lighting the day for Tuesday today I want to talk about time. Last week there was a huge announcement about the discovery of gravitational waves. And I am not a science person. I'm an English and history teacher, so I understand the basics of it, but so I'm not going to talk about like what gravitational waves are, so you don't have to worry about that. But I do want to talk about time because the discovery of gravitational waves is historical for two reasons. And the two reasons actually impact us if you think about it in a kind of logical way, and how we can use the idea of time in the scientific sense, and how we respond to time as people. Okay? And two ways that I want to talk about is waiting, how we wait for things and our impatience, and sometimes we have to wait a long time and sometimes we don't. So waiting, however long that takes in time, and not looking back in time. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So gravitational waves are the last element of Einstein's theory of relativity, where he talked about how fast time would travel and light would travel through space. E equals mc squared, right? And it's the last tiny bit of his theory that was proved correct. And he came up with his theory of relativity in 1916. And today it is 2016. The man is long dead and gone. We all think he is brilliant, and he was. But he waited 100 years even after he died, for people to say, hey, you're right. Hey, you actually understood something that I didn't understand. He didn't, and that's the thing about waiting, is that sometimes we get so caught up in doing, having the approval, or having somebody notice, or having somebody say, good job, that we forget that sometimes it's going to take us a really long time to get somebody to say, hey, you were right all along. You were right. Or you did the right thing. Or you did say the right thing. Or, yeah. And it may be, I hope not, but it may be after you're dead. And so why are we waiting for that? Why are we wasting our time today, waiting? Einstein clearly didn't wait for somebody to tell him that he was right about the theory of relativity. He didn't. He died, he had his theory out there, and the last bit just proved him correct. Just this past week. So waiting actually doesn't actually do us any good. Gravitational waves also distort time. If you get far enough out from a big body like the Earth or a sun, and you can actually, the closer you get in, it sucks you in, kind of like a real wave. If you go up on a real wave, you go slowly up the crest of a wave in the ocean, and then all of a sudden you go crashing down because it's pulling you in. And that's kind of what gravitational waves are like, is that you can be riding the crest and then all of a sudden get pulled in, and time goes faster, okay, in some areas of the gravitational wave. as opposed to other areas. But gravitational waves are interesting because they also give us the theory of the ability to travel back in time. Think about that for a minute. That theoretically, it is now possible to figure out how to travel backwards. And, you know, I'm kind of a sci-fi fanatic. I enjoy science fiction. I like thinking about things like that. And as an English teacher, I like to have my kids read science fiction a lot. So for me, it was like, whoa, like reality kind of thing. But it's interesting. This is the thing. There's something called the grandfather paradox. When you have time travel, okay, and this is a real scientific thing, the grandfather paradox, I'm not making this up. When you have time travel, the grandfather paradox is, let's say, you go back in time, you say, okay, I'm going to at least do something right for humanity, and I'm going to get rid of the worst, most evil person there ever was. And I think that most of us can agree that it was probably Adolf Hitler. Okay, so we go back in time. It's 2016. We go back to 1934, and we kill Adolf Hitler before he can even, begin taking over Europe. Great, you killed Adolf Hitler. You saved 6 million Jews. Blah 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 blah. Right? Yay! However, the grandfather paradox is this: once you have killed Adolf Hitler no longer exists, and World War II never happens, and 6 million Jews don't die. You come back to 2016, Adolf Hitler is erased from history. There's no Adolf Hitler. There's no World War II. 6 million Jews plus their progeny still live in Europe. Do you have to ever go back and kill Adolf Hitler then again? I mean, when you get to February 17th or February 16th, do you ever have to kill Adolf Hitler again? I don't think so. So that's the grandfather paradox. You get to February 16th, 2016, as you're traveling forward in time, and Adolf Hitler doesn't exist, so he's never existed, so you never have to kill him. I know that that's kind of wooky. It's kind of hard to think about. But if you go back in time, kill him, come forward in time, he never existed, so then you never have to go back in time. Okay. This is science, believe it or not. I know it's kind of hard to think about, at least it is for me. But if we were able to scientifically go back in time, and all of us say, oh, if only I could go back in time, if only I could do this with my life, if only. But this is the thing. Even if we could, now that we have the ability to go theoretically back in time, if you could change what you did wrong or right or whatever, make whatever it is the way you want it to be, that whole thing disappears and you never will go back. So there's no use looking back. It's already gone. If you were to have changed time, you would have done it already. If time travel really exists. And you are still, today, the same as you are right now. So imagine, just close your eyes for a minute. Imagine, you went back in time. You tried to change it. You come back February 16th, I'm looking at the board, February 16th, and you're still the same. Grandfather paradox, nothing changed. Okay, no use looking back. Science says don't wait. Einstein didn't wait. Science says don't look back. It doesn't change anything anyway. You are still the same person. I hope that wasn't too long. I just thought it was kind of cool to think about and applicable to our own lives. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.